it, drop it, quit it.
I'm so over that.
Didn't finish, and it was one of it. Leave it, drop it, quit it.
Give it up, babe.
We don't finish, it doesn't even matter.
You gonna finish
Of
that?
course not.
I'm done here.
Welcome to episode 2 of You Gonna Finish That, where every episode, me, Zila, and you,
Adji.
siblings and prolific quitters, discuss something that we have quit. So this episode, we have each brought our own topic to talk about, and I'm excited to hear what yours is gonna be.
Cool. Do you want to start or should I?
Yeah, you start. What are you gonna talk about?
I'm going to talk about a business venture I came up with.
Okay.
And one of many. I am a serial entrepreneur as well as a serial hobbyist.
Serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
We love to see
Now,
it. We love
I'm an
black people
ideas
in
guy.
business.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. The idea, the business was called Wicked Record Candles.
I remember this.
Because wicked, is wicked. The word wicked.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you never got that when
I did not.
Okay.
I thought it
But
was
it's
wicked
wicked,
cool.
wicked, there's a wick on the candle.
Right.
And then records. Okay, so the idea of the business is that music is such a sensory experience.
Yes.
There's the hearing, but some people have, is it called synesthesia? Where they can see music.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't it be interesting?
Sorry, I just...
What? It's a great idea. Trademark, verbal trademark.
Wouldn't it be interesting if...
Okay, not wouldn't it be interesting? It could be a multi-sensory experience.
Yes. If you could smell...
Yes, well, I'm trying to think of the other senses first to build up to the smell. So you can see...
Touch?
Let me get to it. It's my idea. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm going to abandon that, though, because you don't taste music. You don't... Anyway, I think that part of creating a vibe, there's lights. You know, people have the light bulbs that, will change based on the music. Or, they'll have speakers with lights.
That's cool.
Part of the vibe of a room is also the smell. I'm dead ass right now. I'm dead ass. And I think if you're listening without the judgment, it actually is a good idea.
It's just... Sorry. No, it's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Because also you can... Music does enhance taste. Let's go back real quick.
You've lost me. That's why I abandoned the whole sensory thing. It's
sometimes...
taste.
Yeah, you're right.
Alcohol enhances your music.
Yes. There are certain
sometimes
senses go together and they enhance each other, is what you're saying.
Exactly, yes.
You had the brilliant idea. It was a cool fucking idea, actually.
Yeah.
To bring
Clearly
together,
I need a marketing person.
Yeah, to bring together sound and
what is that Kanye quote? If you can communicate the product...
I like some of the Gaga songs.
What the fuck does she know about cameras?
Yeah. Exactly. So explain your idea. Sorry.
So, I like to listen to an album full through. I think that's the body of work that the artist intended for you to listen to.
Yeah.
And in doing so, the album has a certain vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wouldn't it be good if you can enhance that vibe? What the fuck is so funny about this idea?
Nothing.
The reason I never finish is I'm surrounded by haters, and we'll get to that in a second. This is a great idea, and watch somebody take it and run with it, and you're gonna
because it is the kind of TikTok shop bullshit that somebody would
excuse me
that somebody would absolutely hop onto, and I would probably spend my money on it. It's just funny, I don't know why it's funny. Who understands?
It'll get funnier. So I had this idea that I would create different lines of candles based on my favorite albums. Right? So, Channel Orange would have its own scent. No. Sorry. Just because it's named Channel Orange doesn't mean it smells like oranges. It's about the vibe of the album.
Right.
It could.
No, that makes
cute.
sense. That makes sense.
But it's just, that's not the vibe that I get from Channel Orange.
Yeah,
it's not
I get you. No, you're right.
But, yes, essentially, that's the thought. It's Renaissance would have its own scent. And the design of the vessel that the candle is in would also have its own design that reflects that vibe of the album.
That's cool.
And if you think of a vinyl, a record, as physical media that you touch.
Yeah.
and like it's an experience to put that on that record player.
It's like,
We're gonna have to power through.
yeah, just like how you brought back touch.
Yes, because I was thinking, I was like, why did I feel like there was a touch element? It was the physical media of
That's cool.
a record, and it was also like it's so easy to flip off of an album when you're streaming, but when you put a record on, you intend to listen to the album through.
For sure, yeah.
And so it's like, in conjunction with that ritual of putting on that album, you would light this candle, and for that hour or whatever that the album is, you would smell this candle.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
And it creates a vibe.
It does.
Wicked record candles. Investors, hit me up.
I was just with one of my coworkers, and she literally that day, I guess it was the Bath and Body Works candle sale, which is an annual.
Big deal.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
She blew in an instant $250 on candles.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty efficient.
It is.
And good deal.
Yeah, honestly, people really fuck with scent, and I respect that. And I actually really want to get into that in 2025. I feel like I have no signature scent. I never wear perfume.
Yes.
I don't smell that good, so like, I think it would behoove me to kind of get on the scent train.
Yeah.
I'm an adult now. I should have been on this, honestly, but
kind of 29.
Right. It's been almost a decade since I should have started this endeavor, but yeah, people really get into their candles, and I think it is a cool idea. I don't know why I was laughing so much. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, cool idea.
It's
now
like
let's talk about execution.
Yeah.
Huh? What? First of all, on the execution logistically, from not even getting into the manufacturing of the candles, like let's just talk about how do I get the rights to name a candle anything related to an album without cutting the artist in?
Right.
It's kind of dead on arrival. Like,
did you think about that?
No. It was after I procured all of the materials. And so this is another thing.
Yeah, what I remember about it. Go ahead.
No, I'm interested in your
What I remember
perspective.
about it is, I feel like you kind of got into candle making generally. And, like, I just remember you buying a shit ton of essential oils and waxes. Did you go to a class or something?
I did go to a candle making class.
Okay, yes. And then you were just inspired.
This shit is easy.
Yeah. And you bought all the shit, and then you told me about the idea. And I was like, are you just trying to pay off all that material?
No. The order of operations is all wrong here.
Okay.
I went to the class.
Yeah.
I was like, this is easy.
Okay.
And in the class, I made a candle there was a vessel there that was like, this was in 2022, late 2022, early 2023.
Okay.
Late 2022 because it was my, a birthday gift that YASMINE got me. One of my best friends, YASMINE, is a candle making class. We went together.
Nice.
There was a vessel there that was there's a word that it's like I probably still have the candle to be honest. It's like blue and pink and sparkly. What is that word called?
Ephemeral?
No. This is gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah,
anyway, you can finish that sentence. Anyway, it reminded me of a disco ball in a sense, and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna make this candle smell the way that Renaissance makes me feel as an album. My favorite album.
That's cool.
Yes, and so I was like, and wouldn't it be cool if all like albums had like a related scent to them?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I was like, that's a cool business idea. It didn't cost me much to. I bet these candles don't cost much to make, which is why I was admiring the business model of their thing because of how expensive the class is,
right?
And how little I feel like the raw materials to make a candle
You're
are.
paying for vibes.
Yeah, you're paying for vibes. You're paying for the class itself. Yeah. Like that's labor. But like if everyone's paying $80 to $100 for the what was it, 90 minutes?
I think it should be noted that me and you are in different tax brackets, so our stories are going to be really different.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
So from there, I had the idea. I was like, let me execute. So I was like, let me just buy, a set of vessels to put the candles in, and then the wax, the wicks. Mm-hmm. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
And like, I bought a hot plate. Don't know why I couldn't use my stove. That was kind of silly. And thing to heat it.
Concept of the more
it's just like this needs to be a separate. Yeah.
Right.
This needs to be a whole separate factory I got going on in my apartment. And so then I had all of the materials, and then I bought all of that, and then I was like, okay, now I need the scents. And I looked up how much it costs to buy the fragrance oil, And that shit is so expensive.
That's crazy.
And so for a long time after I had that initial idea, I was like, I don't know if I want to make that investment in the scents. And like, I don't want to just buy one thing of fragrance oil all smells like one scent. Like, the point is to make a unique smell.
Right. I remember I bought you for Christmas.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't think, were they the correct ones? I bought you a set.
Zila bought me a set of teeny tiny, and this is no offense. Yeah. It was a very large variety,
right.
But they were like teeny tiny of each scent. So, but the volume of fragrance oil you need to make a candle that smells like anything is actually kind of a lot.
That's crazy.
Like, he had a very the guy who ran the classes that we went to, I don't even remember what it was called, but they had a very concentrated batch. So what I thought you only needed a little bit. You actually do need more than that.
That's crazy.
So I ended up splurging like later on when it felt like far enough away from the initial purchase that it didn't feel like I'm investing all this money in the same thing.
Yeah.
I ended up going to Michael's and buying a lot of different fragrance oils, which I still have.
Did?
Yes. Like big bottles. Like this size bottles.
In pursuit of the same venture?
Yeah. I was still like, this is still a good idea. This was maybe in 2023, like later in the year. Didn't take me very long, but it was like I did sit on it for quite some time. Because that happened end of 2022. Christmas, you got me the thing. Like sometime early mid 2023, I like finally bit the bullet, bought some fragrance oils. And so I started to make a candle in my apartment. And boy, was I lightheaded. Like, the fumes, I had to open every window and like I was worried for our cat. Like, it was like something serious. Didn't also know that wax can burn. Like, thought that it just melts, but no, like, I had this shit on too high.
Oh no.
So it was a lot going on. And this was in a very small apartment in Bucktown.
That's crazy, bro.
So yeah, and I was like, okay, but I successfully made a candle.
Okay.
So I thought. Because you have to wait for it to whatever. I don't really know
or something?
Yeah, I don't know the process behind it, but you
don't know.
I know enough that I knew I had to wait for like 24 hours.
All right.
But then after, didn't even smell like anything.
Oh my god.
Like you know, sometimes you could smell a candle just by putting it to your nose. Like, couldn't really. It was very faint.
You made a candle at that class a year before.
Yes.
And it was successful.
They really got the process down pat.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I'm like,
that's what
really respect. Yeah. That they really were able to make it failure proof.
Yeah. But on your own, it was a little bit different.
It was very different.
So,
and the amount of oil that I used was also a little upsetting. It's very expensive.
Right.
And then I started to question, is this even profitable? So, and it gets worse.
Okay, what happened?
So I'm like, damn, this doesn't smell. I don't think I ever bothered to light it. I was like, this was just kind of a test run. But I also made little tea candles. Because this was part of the idea. And again, verbal trademark. I made these little tea candles using the same wax so that if you're... Because I'm like, okay, buying stuff online, I'm thinking it's an e-commerce business. I'm not going to buy a brick and mortar store.
You're thinking.
I'm thinking, I'm big business up here.
Yeah, big
So... I'm like, let me make little tea like the little tea candles, little samples that you can order online. So you could like test them out almost and decide what you want to buy because I wouldn't really care to buy a candle online if I've never smelled it before.
Right. That's so true.
So I'm like, cool. It's like kind of like how when you're buying perfume, they send you the little samples.
The sample size.
It's cute.
That's cute. That's
those didn't smell like anything. The candles I made didn't smell like anything when like you put it to your nose.
Yeah. Fast
forward to 2020, later 2023 when we moved here.
Yeah.
And we're unpacking. We are unpacking. And we have so many candles. Like, that entire drawer, you can't see it, it's off screen, but there's an entire drawer in our TV stand that's, like, filled to the brim with different candles. And we don't really like candles because we have 3 cats and, like, also... I had this thing where strong smells made me very nauseous. Happened shortly after the candle thing. I wonder if it's related. Might have messed up my olfactory situation.
Oh my God.
But anyway, Ari is like putting the candles away and he sees one he doesn't recognize and smells it. And he kind of balks at the smell. And he goes, do you want to keep this one? Like, I don't like it. Yeah. And my face kind of dropped a bit. And he was like, what? I was like, that was the candle I made. And we both fell out laughing.
Is so sad. That's so
But that kind of like put the kibosh on the candle business. My thing is, if I were to do it again, I would completely outsource the whole candle thing. Just all of it. Like, no, it makes no sense for me to get into that space.
Yeah.
I'm more of the marketing, like, this scent matches this album. I'll, like, do a little test.
But that's interesting because sometimes businesses and entrepreneurs, they do kind of, like, they almost
take on too much.
Start doing all their own shit and realizing that.
It's like, you really don't have to do all that. I can get some shit on Alibaba or Temu or something.
Right.
And be like, this smells
and
like...
wrap that shit. Yeah.
Again, verbal trademark. Don't know how well that stands up in court, but I do have it on video.
What do you...
Timestamp.
Did you learn anything about yourself from that endeavor?
That was one of the only endeavors where... One, it was solo. A lot of my other endeavors were with my best friend, Troy.
Right.
And it was one of the endeavors that made it, it's specifically a business idea that made it beyond ideation.
I see. That's real. Yeah.
So I'm like, in that sense, I was like ready to go.
Yeah, you really were. You're just not a candle maker.
It's not my ministry.
Yeah, and I respect that. It's actually a really cool idea. There's ideas that are way worse that are much more profitable and stuff.
And I just know, one of the things that I've realized lately, like a lot of the business ideas that I have had, I start seeing like a year, 2 years later. Like I really was like, I need a satin-lined hat.
Yeah.
And I that one I actually also tried, like I had a satin pillowcase that I tried to like cut and sew into my hat.
Here. You know how fucking...
But I don't know how to sew. So it kind of was raggedy, and I was like, I don't know if this is a thing. Now all I'm getting on Instagram...
Sweatshop, brother. He was like, what you need?
Yeah. I don't have the technical skills, but I know a good business when I think of one.
This is sounds just like Jeff Bezos. Anyway.
Yeah. So, long story short, that was a big flop. All of those things, much like my other hobbies, are in my closet.
Real.
I have not gotten rid of the wax.
You have a closet full of the unfinished.
Yeah.
That's
it's
so
where hobbies go to die for sure.
Oh my god, I love that. Well, that's a very good, unfinished business. I really enjoyed. I remember that, and I remember that it was a good idea. And some shit just doesn't work out, and you never know. You never know. That's the point of this podcast. Like, maybe someone's gonna steal your idea.
And sometimes it feels like obviously it would be great to like have a great idea that you become a millionaire off of.
Yeah.
But I also would feel similar to the satin line beanies.
Yeah. Super
vindicated.
Yeah.
To know that I had the idea
and you didn't have to put in any work to feel that vindicated.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
It's like no material gains, but
right.
There's a sense of pride there.
Facts. Real. All right. Well, I can talk about mine.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'm going to talk about today that I quit was my first job, which was an after-school care leader.
Tell me about it. Because I do not remember you having this job.
Yeah, I think I did it for like 6 months. I was 18.
Oh.
It was actually my first job. A lot of people start working earlier than that. I know you did. But it was my first job.
I was also, maybe I was 17.
Yeah, something like that. But it was on the outskirts of my college campus. Now, mind you, I am not any sort of educator. Never was in that field, but you don't need anything.
How did you come across the job?
I think it was literally on like a website. Or honestly, it might have been on a poster or something. And I might have taken one of those little tapping numbers. Like, it was real random. And I remember there's no good way there. It was like one of those towns where the only thing is the campus and then everything else is kind of boondocks. But I walked there every day, like maybe 40 minutes. But it was
this wasn't on the thing that was on campus. It was actually
off campus. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, some like community center, and I used to go there and I used to hang out with kids. I was just an assistant, really, and I'm not a disciplinarian or anything. So I was not good at it, but I love kids. So I loved hanging out with them, helping them do their homework. I'm real help kind of gal. I passed out the snacks.
And how old were they?
They were ranging in age from 6 to 13.
Wow.
So some of them were really adorable. Some of them I were really scared of. Because, I don't know, I feel like
after school.
Kids are going to bully me. Yeah, it was after school. And I remember I got paid $10 an hour, and the boss above me got paid $11 an hour. And I was like, girl, like that was her full-time job. She was older than me. She was probably like 10 years older than me. But she was great with kids. She was a great like balance of strict and cool. And everyone loved her. And you know,
was she a teacher or like educator?
I think she was just doing that for like a really long time.
Oh, okay.
But I remember meeting this girl there. Well, the reason that I quit, because I loved that job. And let me tell you something about me and jobs that you're going to find out through the course of this podcast. I do not like working, like at all. Every job I've had after that.
You know how they call Kiki Palmer Kiki keep a job Palmer? You're like, ZZ quit a job.
ZZ, she slept on it. Yeah, like
she slept on it. It's crazy.
I do not like working, but that job I really liked. So yeah, I would walk the 40 minutes excited to go to see the kids and play games with them and like pass out the snacks and like chit chat about their days and stuff. And the only reason that I quit was at the time I was studying like broadcast journalism.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another worker there, and she was actually in the education field. She was older than me as well. She was already working. It was like her part-time second job because it did not pay anything, and nothing in education pays anything. So it's tragic and terrible in the most important job in the world. But she taught special ed kids during the day. She was just such a sweet person, and like, So she one day said to me like, I remember we were coloring with some girls, and she was like, "What is your job field?" And
she said, "What the hell are you doing here?"
I was like, "I'm studying journalism. You know, I want to do like media or something." And she was like, "You need to go and get a job in that and try." She clearly was struggling with bills, struggling with debt. She was like, the only reason you should be in this if you really love it and you're like trying to, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought about that and I was like, oh damn, like maybe I should, you know? So I quit. Like I was like, I took her advice seriously and I quit not long after that. But and then I got a job as a marketing intern for the diversity and equity and inclusion department of my college.
Did you not speak at all?
Yeah.
Like, how were you doing any of this stuff?
Yeah, I had that job right after. Got paid, I want to say, $12 an hour and hated it so much. I was also so bad at it.
You were marketing?
I was marketing for the DEI department because they would host like racial discussion about
like advertisements.
Doing the right thing. I would do their social media.
Oh, okay.
And I would like do their posters. I had never had a social media job. I did not do a good job. People no one came to the events. But my thing was, I want to say it was because like I was subverting them. It wasn't. I just wasn't good, and I didn't have a lot of friends who wanted to go to those things.
And it's also like, who's just going to events they see on social media like that?
Right.
For DEI.
Right. But my job was definitely to like figure out how to make it happen. But my boss was a white man. Like the head of the department was a white man, not a gay white man, just a straight white man. And his immediate people below him who had been working at the school forever were 2 black women. So it was like, I don't feel bad about that. But I did hate every single job after I quit the after school leader one. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I should have quit that job.
Like, you think you would have been happy now, just having still money, been,
you know.
Well, it's not like you needed the credentials then.
Right,
so
exactly.
Get to it.
Right. No, yeah, I can't make that amount of money now. But like as a student.
So you feel like I guess your takeaway from that would be
like, don't just do stuff. And I feel like I learned this lesson over and over and over again in life. But don't just do stuff for your career, because that never really serves you.
Because how did you even decide on the career?
Right. Well, what do you mean?
How did you decide on your career? Is that too much?
No, it's not. I always loved video, and I did the school paper. And you know what's crazy? Every school I applied for a different major.
Me too.
That's crazy.
People think I'm crazy for that.
No, well, it just feels like, it was kind of like, I don't know what I want to
It's like, I want to do the thing that school's good at.
Right, that's true. That's so true.
You know?
Yeah, that's so true.
Or that, like, would make sense geographically.
Some of them I applied to political science.
Yeah.
Because they were better at that, you know? But, like, I didn't really know what I want to do. Still don't.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to expect them to.
Imagine if I just stuck with the after school. I could be a principal somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, Ava.
I give that energy sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah. But quitting that job, yeah, kind of taught me that. Like, there's not a reason to quit sometimes.
If you're enjoying it, especially.
If you're enjoying it.
Because that's rare.
Right, exactly.
Boy, is that rare.
So, yeah. But that was also my first job I ever quit, which is memorable and notable because I quit.
But it wasn't on contentious terms. It was.
No. Yeah. Another thing that I remember about that job, oh my God, and I think about this pretty much every day since I turned 29. There was a girl there. I think she worked in the back office of the community center. She was in her late 20s, and she was kind of like saying it generally, but I was listening hard because I was 18. And she was like, yeah, she was one of those hustlers. Like, she's like, I do graphic design for this, and I work in the back office here in my off hours, and then I go to my night job, this. And she was like, yeah, I'm grinding in my 20s so that in my 30s, I can just coast. And I just remember that line so hard because I'm about to turn 30 and have to grind so hard because I'm not coasting on nothing, you know?
And I also feel like that was what was told to me, but...
And yet...
Where's the coasting doesn't feel anywhere near.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so real.
And maybe I'm mishandling my money and like, you know? But...
We'll get to budgets in a different
Yeah,
episode.
that's a whole other category of topic, but...
But in terms of, you gonna finish that career? Nah, son. I'm not gonna finish that career. But yeah, do you want to go talk about This Week Unfinished? Which is our segment where we talk about what's unfinished this week.
Yeah, but you go first because I haven't thought of one.
I'm trying to... Oh, this is so important to me. I'm trying to finish season 4 of Star Trek Voyager. Which I have been watching. I've been watching Voyager. I love Star Trek, right? I love the world. Follow me, Tumblr, Deep Space Warp. That's my Tumblr name. I'm very popular.
I can imagine.
But I've been watching Voyager for like a year and a half. And I'm still on season 4 of season 7.
How many episodes per season?
23 or so.
Oh, wow.
And they're like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I love that because
45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Wow,
there's
that's
like
some
little
Grey's
fucking
shit.
movies. Yeah. I wonder what Shonda Rhimes directed Star Treks would look like.
I'd be into that.
Yeah, actually.
Should you get into
Let's
sci-fi?
write down some things that we plan to not finish. But yeah, I've been watching Voyager for a while. The thing about Star Trek is I cannot watch it if it's just like, it's not a busy watch for me. I have to be fully present, fully ready to immerse, and like that's the way I like to watch Star Trek. And I've been kind of like busy lately for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to like really sit down and watch my show. But that's my show.
That's valid.
And yeah, so I am unfinished with that, but I want to finish it. Before the end of the year, I want to be done with season 4.
It's so interesting.
Actually, the whole thing. But I don't know if I'll
How many seasons?
7.
If you couldn't finish season 4, how the hell are you going to finish 3 more seasons?
That's why we have this podcast. We have big dreams.
We're dreamers, for sure.
Yeah.
Before I lose this train of thought, do you know Shonda Rhimes directed Princess Diaries 2? Produced or directed? I think directed.
I didn't. That's so interesting.
Or wrote. I don't remember which one it is. She was definitely involved.
That's good. It was good.
Yeah.
My gorgeous prince. I too.
I always wanted to ride a mattress down the flight of
I
stairs.
know.
Which
they
definitely should have put a disclaimer like, do not try this at home.
Right. They did that though. That
They really
scene,
did. That
that
looks so
whole little
fun.
party thing, that was cute as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything for you unfinished?
Then I was going to say, it's so interesting the thought of like not finishing something that you do like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real. There's many reasons.
Yeah.
You know?
I hate to keep talking about shows, but I'll just say this. I've started several shows on Netflix.
Okay.
And I've not finished any of them, and I don't know if I will.
That's real.
And they're not bad,
Sure.
but they're not good. So one of them is, I think it's called No Good Deed. Star-studded cast
Okay.
of like people who were really famous. on television specifically. Well, I guess maybe not. So it's Lisa Kudrow from Friends, Ray Romano from Everyone Loves Raymond.
Yes.
Luke Wilson.
Okay.
The woman who was Velma in Scooby Doo totally. And on that show with Christina Applegate.
Totally know her. Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, excellent.
The thing, and there's another famous guy, but I don't know his name. The thing with casts that strong, you're really relying on the cast. Yeah. Nothing really is going on, and everyone's collecting a check and having fun. But
there's gotta be like a name for that in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like retirement or something.
Right.
I don't know.
So
I'm gonna watch it because it's like interesting. I feel like it's getting interesting.
Okay.
But the thing is, they're all comedy people, but it's not playing out like The Bear, where it's like turning into a good drama, but comedy.
Yeah.
It's like just a drama, and it's a little confusing to me.
Right, like it's not bringing it out.
Yeah.
That's real.
I guess I won't name all the shows, but
okay.
I will also say I recently started reading Justice Ketanji Brown's Jackson's memoir.
How's that?
I'm not gonna finish that. No offense. Yeah. She's had a great career.
Yeah.
Cool. She was just on Broadway.
What?
Yeah, random. People are doing random things in our government. I'll say that. I'm so sick of this timeline.
I don't like
it's like
it.
I think we have bigger fish to fry. I did listen to an oral argument that they had. You know the orals for the Supreme Court. They were talking about, and this I did finish actually. Maybe not. I don't know. I started late, so regardless, I don't want to get into it. But I could tell she's tired.
The thing is, the Supreme Court is going through so much turmoil. Maybe she's like, this is not really what I signed up for.
This is not what I wanted.
End up career, Broadway. Because she's a line like girly.
Yeah. She had all of the makings of a Broadway star.
Did she?
No. She didn't look like she'd be bad. Yeah. But she did look a little too happy to be there.
That's crazy to me, yeah. I don't like that in a politician, actually.
Honestly, live your dreams. It's a little inspiring.
Not people who are supposed to be running the government. Like,
yeah, but
actually do your fucking job.
Yeah. But I just feel like if I knew I was going to be outnumbered on every vote, like, there's no variation in how people are voting. Yeah. Like, what is the point of all this? Right. Just go ahead and make your little decisions and go. You know?
I'm allowed to say that. You signed up for that.
Right.
Do your job.
You're right. Yeah. Focus up. Lock in.
Yeah, tighten up.
Yeah.
Lock in. But, you know, whatever. Who am I to say? Is it going to change anything if she starts doing her job? No. So
have her fun.
Yeah. You're right.
Oh my God, Keke Palmer's memoir, autobiography, whatever, so good.
I started and did not finish, so it's another unfinished for me, but I'm going to finish that.
Yeah, it's good. The audiobook specifically, I just love hearing her talk.
Yeah.
Like, her podcast is great.
Oh, so good. Okay, well.
Cool. Yeah, thank you all for listening to another episode of You Gonna Finish That. Remember that if something's not serving you, you don't have to finish it. And if it is serving you, you just don't want to do it, you don't have to finish that either. Yeah, thank you for listening. Feel free to connect with us on TikTok and Instagram and any other social media at You Gonna Finish That Pod. And
maybe we'll see you next week.
Maybe we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.